A year's a long time to carry something heavy. And this year you carried the weight of your healing. The weight of facing truth, feeling grief, setting boundaries, reclaiming voice, acknowledging wounds, building capacity. The weight of not running from what hurt, not pretending it didn't matter, not numbing what needed to be felt. That's exhausting work. And you did it. For 365 days, you chose to heal instead of just survive. You chose to face instead of avoid. You chose growth over comfort, truth over denial, complexity over simplicity. And now the year is ending. And before we step into what comes next, we need to acknowledge what this year was, what it brought, what it cost, what it taught, what you built, what you're ready to release, and what you're calling in as you begin again. I'm Judi Bommarito, and this is our year-end reflection, not a highlight reel, not a gratitude performance, but an honest accounting of what this year was, the hardship and the growth, the losses and the gains, what broke you and what you became because of it. Last week, the winter solstice taught us about turning toward light. This week, we honor what the year brought and consciously choose what we're taking forward and what we're leaving behind. Next week, we return to our healing journey with card number 27, Finding Authenticity. And here's why that timing matters. You can only set authentic intentions after you've honestly acknowledged what's real. So let's get real about this year. There are two truths about this year. Truth one, this year brought things you didn't choose, circumstances you didn't control, pain you didn't ask for, loss you didn't want, challenges you would have avoided if you could. Truth two, this year you made choices. You chose to heal. You chose to face what scared you. You chose to feel instead of numb. You chose to grow instead of just endure. Both are true. You survived what you had to survive, and you chose to do more than just survive. You chose to transform through it. This is the both and we've been practicing throughout the year. Not either or, not victim or creator, not passive or powerful. Both, simultaneously, continuously. This year happened to you. Things beyond your control, shaped by your experience, created difficulty, brought pain. And this year, you shaped what you did with what happened, how you responded, what meaning you made, what you built from it. You don't get credit for the circumstances. Those weren't your fault. But you do get to claim the choices. Those were yours. And those matter. Before we practice gratitude, we practice honesty. Because gratitude without honesty is just performance. This year maybe it brought loss. People you cared about who are no longer in your life, by death, by distance, by necessary boundaries. Maybe it brought disappointment, things you hoped for that didn't happen, people you thought would show up who didn't, expectations that met reality and broke. Maybe it brought confrontation with family dynamics you can no longer ignore, with your own patterns you can no longer deny, with truths about your story you can no longer avoid. Maybe it brought exhaustion from holding more than you should hold, from carrying weight that wasn't yours, from being strong when you wanted to fall apart. Maybe it brought loneliness from setting boundaries that distanced you from people you love, from walking a healing path that others don't understand, from becoming someone different than you were, and not everyone knows how to relate to the new you. Maybe it brought fear about whether you're doing this right, about whether healing is possible, about whether you'll ever feel whole. Whatever it brought, name it. Don't spiritually bypass it. Don't reframe it as actually a blessing. Don't force yourself to be grateful for what hurt. Just name it honestly. This year was hard. This year cost me something. This year broke things that mattered. If that's the truth, hold it. Now hold this truth alongside the first. Through everything this year brought, you built something. You built capacity to feel without breaking. You built boundaries that protect your energy. You built a voice that speaks your truth. You built awareness of your patterns. You built courage to face what scared you. You built resilience, though we know now that's evidence of burden, not just strength. You built empowerment, the recognition that you have agency over what you can influence. You built compassion for yourself. You built discernment about who's safe and who's not. You built practices that actually help. You built a relationship with yourself that didn't exist a year ago. You didn't build this because the year was easy. You built it because the year was hard, and you chose to meet that hardness with growth instead of just survival. The circumstances weren't a gift, but what you made from them is real, is yours, is evidence of your capacity. Both truths. This year was hard, and you built something through it. You don't just gain skills through a healing year, you gain wisdom. And wisdom is different than knowledge. Knowledge is what you learn in books. Wisdom is what you learn by living. This year taught you that you can feel things that scare you and not be destroyed by them. That setting boundaries costs something and it is still worth it. That some people won't understand your healing and you have to do it anyway. That resilience is real, but so is exhaustion, and you can honor both. That worth is inherent, not earned. And remembering that changes everything. That empowerment is agency over what you can influence, not control over what you can't. That healing isn't linear. You'll revisit the same wounds at deeper levels. That joy and grief coexist. You don't have to wait for pain to end before you allow pleasure. That forgiveness is about your freedom, not their deserving. That turning toward light doesn't erase darkness, it shifts your direction. This is wisdom, not something you read, something you lived, something you earned through the hard work of staying present to your actual experiences instead of numbing, avoiding, or pretending. This wisdom is yours. It came at a cost, and it's what you're taking into the new year. As the year ends, you get to consciously release what no longer serves you, what you carried this year that you don't need to carry forward. You might be releasing any or all of the following: the belief that healing is linear and you should be done by now, the expectation that others will understand or validate your journey, the need for your parent to change before you can be whole, the guilt about setting boundaries that disappointed people, the shame about needing help, about not being perfect, about being too much, the pattern of making yourself small to keep others comfortable, the habit of prioritizing everyone else's needs before your own, the story that your past defines your future, the fear that if you stop being hypervigilant, something bad will happen, the performance of being fine when you're actually struggling. The belief that rest is laziness and productivity determines worth. The version of yourself that survived but couldn't thrive. Name what you're releasing. Don't just think it. Say it out loud. Write it down. Make it conscious. Make it deliberate. You're not just passively leaving things behind as the year ends. You're actively choosing to release what doesn't serve the person you're becoming. Releasing creates space. Now you get to consciously call in what you want to grow, experience, and become in this next year. Not resolutions. Those are usually obligations dressed up as goals. Not shoulds. Those come from external pressure. But intentions. Choices about who you want to be and how you want to move forward through the world. You might be calling in any of the following. More ease in your body. More moments where you're not braced for impact. More authentic connections. Relationships where you can be fully yourself. More creative expression. Making art, writing, building something that matters to you. More rest without guilt. Permission to not be productive every moment. More joy. Small, real moments of delight that you allow yourself to fully feel. More trust in yourself. Confidence in your own judgment, your own knowing. More boundaries held with less guilt. The ability to say no and mean it. More empowered choices. Daily decisions that honor what you actually want. More authentic living. Being who you actually are instead of who you think you should be. More of whatever lights you up. More of what feels true. More of what nourishes instead of depletes. Name what you're calling in. Make it specific. Make it yours. Not what you think you should want, what you actually want. This is intention setting from authenticity, which is perfect timing because next week we explore card number 27, finding authenticity. You can only call in what's authentic to you after you've done the honest work of releasing what isn't. Here's the difference between New Year's resolution and authentic intentions. Resolutions come from external pressure. They're what you think you should do, should be, and should achieve. They're usually punishing. They rarely last. Intentions come from internal wisdom. They're based on what you've learned about yourself, what actually works for you, what honors who you're becoming. Your intentions for the new year should emerge from the wisdom you've earned this year, from what you know now that you didn't know then. For example, if you learn that overextending depletes you, your intention might be, I will build more rest into my life and trust that productivity isn't my worth. If you learn that some relationships cost more than they give, your intention might be, I will prioritize connections that actually nourish me and release guilt about distance from those that don't. If you learn that your voice matters, your intention might be, I will speak my truth even when my voice shakes and even when others don't like what I said. If you learn that worth is inherent, your intention might be, I will stop trying to earn value through achievement and practice knowing I'm enough as I am. Your intentions should sound like you, should feel true, should emerge from your actual experience, not from what wellness culture says you should do. They should be about who you want to be, not just what you want to accomplish. Being precedes doing. Authenticity creates action. This week, practice this simple ritual, the release and call-in ceremony. You'll need 2 pieces of paper, a pen, a fire-safe bowl, or outdoor fire pit, if burning, or a place to bury paper, if not burning, and 20 minutes of quiet time. Part 1. Write down what you're releasing. On the first piece of paper, write everything you're releasing as this year ends. Don't censor. Don't make it pretty. Just write. Beliefs that no longer serve you, patterns you're done repeating, guilt you're tired of carrying, shame that was never yours, fear that kept you small, stories about who you are that aren't true anymore. Anything you carried this year that you don't want to carry forward. When you're finished, read it out loud to yourself. Then say, I release these. They served me once, or they never served me at all. Either way, I don't carry them into the new year. I let them go. Then burn the paper or bury it. Watch it transform or return to earth. This is symbolic release. This is conscious letting go. Part 2, write what you're calling in. On a second piece of paper, write what you're calling in. Write intentions, not resolutions. Who you want to become, how you want to move through the world, what you want to experience, what you want to create, what you want to feel, what authentic living looks like for you. Write from wisdom, not obligation. Write from your actual desires, not what you think you should want. When you're finished, read it out loud to yourself. Then say, I call these in. I choose these. I commit to these. Not perfectly, but authentically. This is what I'm moving toward. Keep this paper. Put it somewhere you'll see it regularly. This is your anchor. This is your reminder of what you're choosing. Do this ceremony before the new year begins. Mark the transition. Honor what was. Choose what's next. This year broke things, and this year built things. Both are true. You survived circumstances you didn't choose, and you chose to do more than just survive. You chose to heal, to grow, to face truth, to build capacity, to become someone new. That work deserves recognition. Not just the achievement, the effort. Not just the growth, the cost. Not just what you built, what you had to release to build it. As this year ends, you get to consciously release what doesn't serve you and call in what does. You get to set intentions not from obligation, but from the wisdom you've earned. What are you releasing? What are you calling in? What intentions emerge from the wisdom you gained? Share in the comments one thing you're releasing and one thing you're calling in. Practice the release and call-in ceremony before the new year. Write it, speak it, burn or bury what you're releasing, keep what you're calling in. Next week, we return to our healing cards with card number 27, Finding Authenticity. Understanding that authentic living emerges from honest accounting of what's real, which is exactly what you've been doing this week. You've walked through darkness. You've turned toward light. You've done the year's work. Now you're ready to begin again. Not as the person who started this year, but as the person you became through it. Thank you for walking this journey with me, for showing up, for being honest, for choosing growth over comfort, truth over denial, complexity over simplicity. The new year doesn't erase what this year brought, but it offers a fresh start to apply what you've learned, to live from the wisdom you've earned, to be who you're becoming. Release what doesn't serve you. Call in what does. Set intentions from authenticity. And know this, you're not starting over. You're beginning again from a place of earned wisdom. That's different. That's powerful. That's yours. Welcome to the new year. Welcome to the next chapter. Welcome to what you're becoming. Let's continue this journey together. Happy New Year and take good care.